Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN. And visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another GTA Online San Andreas Mercenaries in-depth guide here on the channel. Today I'll be going over the new Avenger, or the upgraded Avenger, talking about what's different from the previous Avenger, how the weapons are, and some new things you can do with the upgraded version. And before I begin, I just want to give a shout out to my friends Ender and Setise for helping me record and test for this video. So the Avenger, although it seems like it's just upgrades to the existing one, in the background, it's actually an entire new model, which can mean a lot, but most of the stats are just brought over from the old Avenger. Although it does have a slightly higher mass value than the old one, so little that you likely won't even notice because it's only like a 200 value increase. But with the new Avenger, you have access to Charlie upgrades in the hangar, things like equipping the operations terminal to play the new missions. You can purchase a thruster to store in the back, autopilot defenses of either stealth or a lock-on jammer, and missiles and machine guns for the pilot. So let's talk about those autopilot defenses. As the name suggests, these upgrades only take effect when you engage autopilot on the Avenger, which means you have to be up in the air a good amount and you have to be in VTOL mode. My friend Ender here has on the missile lock-on jammer, and when he enables autopilot, I can no longer lock onto him with the homing launcher, and any other vehicle that I got into would also not be able to lock onto him. However, since he has to stay still because he needs to be an autopilot to have it work, you really don't need lock-on at this point to hit him with missiles. When he's standing still, free-firing missiles is much easier. In a combat scenario, this could be useful though if you have gunners in the back and are getting harassed by an oppressor. You can just have the pilot engage autopilot to get that lock-on jammer active. Meanwhile, the gunners in the back can continue to put pressure on the attacker and make it harder for them to hit you. And then afterwards, the pilot can take control again and you can get out of there. And the pilot can also use the missiles and machine guns while in autopilot while you have the lock-on jammer active. Although the pilot, it's not going to be able to turn the vehicle, so I don't know how much use that's going to be. If you are solo in the Avenger, the lock-on jammer probably won't do you any good because once you put it in autopilot, you don't have any gunners to scare people off trying to get close to attack you. So also what you'll have to do then is get behind you and blow you up or get easy shots on you from far away. As for the stealth mode, this is probably the better option if you're more of a solo player. The Avenger already carries a passive lock-on jammer, we'll just say. As long as no one is in the cockpit, if everyone is in the back of the Avenger, vehicle missiles that auto-lock, which is like 95% of them, aside from like the AA trailer, the Charnobog, will not be able to lock on to the Avenger. However, the homing launcher still can, so if you have stealth mode and are in the back, you are already safe from vehicle homing rockets, or lock-on homing rockets anyways. And now on top of that, you get that extra stealth mode to put you off the radar. And this can help if you want to just chill in the Avenger up in the air without people knowing where you are or people harassing you. And if you want to set up shop somewhere and launch death from above off radar, you can do just that. To answer the question, which one is better, that's just going to depend on your situation and your preferences. I think the missile jammer is better if you're with a group in combat. Just being able to activate it on the fly while another vehicle approaches, because the Avenger can't dodge homing missiles, is very good. And stealth mode is good in other scenarios. Another amazing addition to the Avenger is the thruster. This spawns in just like the Sparrow does. You can request it from your Avenger service menu. And if your Avenger is in the air in autopilot, you can actually board it from the air while you're in the thruster. Although it is tricky to get the positioning just right to where you can press right D-pad to enter, it is a cool feature nonetheless. The thruster cannot be fitted with weapons or countermeasures, unfortunately. It's just for transportation. I kind of wish we could store our own thruster in there personally, just like we can for the Toreador and the Kasatka. One issue I did notice with this though, if you have stealth mode on your Avenger and it's activated in autopilot, when you enter the Avenger in the thruster midair, you will not be in stealth mode once you get in the back. You'll have to go back into the cockpit again to get that stealth mode activated, so that's a slight oversight or bug with this feature. Now for the pilot weapons, they are nothing special, nothing to write home about really. The missiles are your standard buzzard rockets with a lock-on range of 400 meters, and you can fire 2 of them before waiting a short cooldown before you can fire another. The tracking isn't greater than regular homing missiles on planes either. The best these are going to be used for is hitting ground targets in free aim or in PvE, which is most likely what they were designed for in the first place. And the machine guns, well, they're pea shooters. We'll do a comparison here between the buzzard on the right and the Avenger on the left, shooting a maxed out, fully upgraded hunter. The buzzard guns are still just unmatched by any modern helicopter that's released in the past like 6 years. These aren't going to provide much use to you attacking ground targets at all. You will die because of how close you have to get and how little damage they do. Someone can very easily just shoot you out of the cockpit or hit you with a missile. Although, I guess one positive with the machine guns though is they do have quite a long range of 300 meters. That's very far. But shooting pilots out of the new Avenger is actually much easier now because the Avenger no longer has bullet-resistant windows. I checked the game files. The old Avenger did indeed have bullet-resistant windows. The new one does not. Whether that was a balanced decision, an oversight, or a decision made only to make the new missions harder, I don't know. Probably the last one. I did want to retest the armor on the Avenger because it's been such a long time, and it takes around 20 homing missiles to blow up, 23 E rounds, 20 railgun shots, and 9 RPGs. However, the Avenger will take severe damage, hindering its combat ability after the first few explosions. Pieces of it fall off, engines die. All you really need is one rocket to hit the back of the Avenger for its control pieces to get knocked off, making it much less useful, especially in its regular flight mode. In VTOL mode, you can kind of go a little longer. And as far as I know, the Avenger bug still exists where it randomly will blow up in one explosive, though I haven't actually had that happen to me this update. But I've heard from other people that it's still possible. Despite Rockstar changing how VTOL controls work, you now have to hold left stick click for it to activate and deactivate, instead of before where it was just a press on the right D-pad. You still can't use countermeasures as the pilot, despite right D-pad now being open to be used for countermeasures. So right now, if you press right D-pad, it basically does nothing. You have hold right D-pad to activate the bomb bay, and previously, the VTOL controls were right D-pad, so I can see why countermeasures didn't work unless it was the co-pilot operating them. But now that the controls are changed, why don't countermeasures work for the pilot by pressing right D-pad? I don't get it. I think that's very stupid. There's really no reason why we shouldn't have access to pilot countermeasures now. But anyways, that's all you need to know about the new Avenger. In PvP, it's really only going to be extremely effective if you have a group with you, and a somewhat competent group at that, with a pilot that knows how to use the lock-end jammer effectively. It does have some nice new features on it though with the Avenger thruster. It's very useful. The spawn points seem to work well on it, just like the Sparrow spawn points. And all around, I got no complaints with that, other than the fact that we can't weaponize the thruster. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. Once again, thank you to my friends Ender and Setise for helping me record and test for this video, as well as to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. I'm going to leave you guys with some interesting dogfighting moments with the Avenger, and as always, thanks for watching and have a great day. My shit got damaged from that plane, man. Fuck. Oh, he's going for the sumo slam. Here he comes. He's coming in for it. Alright, this is the only way I can fight now because one of my engines is missing. The jet kamikazed himself into me. He's coming in for another one. He's coming in for another one. Oh, I got him! I win! Ah, I'm falling out of the sky as well! Yo, we were in first person underwater for a second. That was cool.